Welcome back. Time for more Tales from the Swamp. Today, Shrek is going to read another book from Elder Scrolls Online called Cheeses of Skyrim, Hjaalmarch and Haafingar. At the behest of my correspondents, I've made great efforts to restrict the contents of my travel journal so as to not lose my readers' interest. In touring the holds of Skyrim, I was unsure through what lens I should present my travels. After a sumptuous meal at the start of my journey, I knew it must be food, and thus my catalogue of Skyrim's cheeses was born. The land is as diverse as are its climes, and both mean the panoply of cheeses are vast. Again, for the sake of brevity, I sought to capture only the most noteworthy cheese from each hold I visited. B. Greenedge. Greenedge is a festive cheese, which I found to be rather peculiar due to the dour reputation of Hjaalmarch, and, in particular, its capital of Morthal. The name of the cheese, derived from the charming baskets, for there can be no other word for it, of rushes plucked from nearby bogs and woven together, speaks to both its visual appeal and the process of its creation. The cheese is brined and pressed within these baskets, with the latter process imbuing the rind of these normally cream-colored cheeses with a verdant hue. The way the locals eat the cheese is also curious. The consumption of greenedge, customarily served at the end of feasts, has become something of a spectacle. Young hunters make a game of holding the rush-encased cheese over a flaming torch until its casing burns away, and the cheese transforms into a near-molten state. Observers laud veterans of this ordeal for the showmanship they add to this feat, dancing the highly combustible cheese along the torch flame without pausing too long, lest the cheese blacken or their fingers burn. Thus prepared, they flip the hot cheese onto a table, and guests immediately plunge bread or, occasionally, sliced apples into the melted goodness. Children find particular joy in the activity, for at this point the cheese's secret contents are revealed. Dried fruits and berries, and, in wealthier households, a single amber plum. Sounds good. The lucky eater that spears the plum before all others is named King of the Feast. Solitude Idar. The greatest of the cheeses in Skyrim, in my opinion, is Solitude Idar, not because of its flavor or bizarre nature, but for its extreme rarity. Solitude Idar is, as the name implies, an Idar cheese, being aged and inoculated with the spores of some fungus. And, like Idar, it is aged underground, in this case in the vaults below the ancient city. But here the similarities to regular Idar end. First, the source. Solitude Idar is a masterful translation of Western Skyrim's staunch traditionalism to the practice of cheese-making, and this starts with the milk. Only cows that belong to the herd of Jarl Svatir, first king of Western Skyrim, can provide milk for the cheese. The royal herd, descended from these cows, is maintained by loyal retainers. Milk arrives regularly in Solitude, where it undergoes inspection by a royal cheesemonger, a hereditary office within the Blue Palace. This connoisseur of dairy has exacting standards for the milk he inspects. Indeed, for I have seen him, and only one out of every dozen barrels is deemed fit for the making of Solitude Idar. The milk curdles in a precise fashion, using a series of hourglasses custom-made for the purpose. Lastly, they add a crumb of cheese from the previous batch into the next one, thus creating an unbroken chain of Idar, dating back generations. The result is, as I am led to understand, a cheese that has the precise appearance, aroma, and taste as it had in Svatir's day. I was skeptical until I was given 2 pieces of cheese, one preserved from decades ago, and one only recently cut from its rind. I was instructed to sample both and see if I could tell the difference. I could not, and I wept. Ooh, fancy Skyrim cheese! What do you think, Inigo? What do you think, Donkey the Armored Mud Crab? What do you think, Squelch? Lots of cheese! Do you have a favorite cheese? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear all about your favorite cheeses. I am lactose intolerant, but I would eat all of these cheeses. Hee hee. Alright, thank you again for joining me for another episode of Tales from the Swamp. Take care, have a comfy day. Bye!